Well, good evening, my stamping friends. Sorry I'm a moment late. I was having a little technical difficulty. You know how it goes, right? Thought I was all set and had forgotten to lock the screen, so it was not showing in the correct orientation and, you know, all that good stuff. So I think we got it fixed now, and I'll just edit the rest later. Add in what we're doing and all of that sort of stuff. So, welcome. Here we are on another Tuesday evening at 7 o'clock, which is when I normally come here live on Facebook. Remember that if you don't happen to be able to catch me here live on Facebook, you can always catch the replay by clicking on the Media tab and finding videos. And you can also find me on my YouTube channel at LuvINK&Paper. Okay, so any of those is great. And if you do happen to head over to YouTube, and you know, because I've got a whole lot of videos, over 200 now, I think. If you would kindly, if you have not already, click the little subscribe button. That helps me a lot. Okay, and then if you watch a video and like it and maybe throw a little comment in there, let me know where you're watching from or whatever that may be. That would also be really great. It helps spread the word. There's also a share button, so if you think you know somebody that would enjoy watching some crafting, then make sure and share it. I'd love for that to happen too. All right, so here is this through the end of this month. Now remember that today and tomorrow, so it started yesterday, and then all day today until midnight tomorrow, if you order $75 or more, you can get free shipping. Okay, so I know I say that they don't do that a lot. A couple of times a year they do. They've been doing it a little more often lately, but it's a great deal. And they're still doing the starter kit special through the end of this month. And if you want to learn more about that, let me know, because that's another super great deal. And the starter kit is always free shipping. I like to say that the starter kit comes with lots of opportunity and zero obligation. So, all right. So what are we using tonight? We are using the Pick of the Patch bundle. Okay, so the stamp set and I know this is always so hard. The punch does the two sizes of pumpkins, a stem, and a leaf. Okay, it's what we call a builder punch. So I'll show you how we kind of do that a little bit later. I love this for the versatility. Can be Halloween, can be Thanksgiving, can be just fun and cute. You can not even use the pumpkins and use the branch and the little raven. Okay, so many different options that you have. Okay, so I really like that for that reason. All right. So let's move that out of the way because I've got all the stamps that I need on blocks. I did a lot of the stamping yesterday because I wanted to just share a few things, and I didn't want to have to be running to the embossing machine or whatever. Anyway, so here are our measurements. So you're going to need a base. I am using Mellow Moss. Nope, that's a long time ago. Wow, that's a throwback. Like, yeah, to when I first started. So it's Mossy Meadow cardstock. It's in the neutrals. So 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4 and folded. Okay, then we have our pretty new copper clay. And that's 4 by 5 1/4, so just a 1/4 inch down. Okay. Then we have another layer, and the second layer is comprised of two parts. Okay, so you'll see layer 2, layer 2. So the first part of that layer is this crumb cake piece, which I embossed with the timber embossing folder, so it has some wood grain to it. You could take a stamp pad or a sponge or something. You don't want a blending brush because they're going to go down in, but a sponge dauber and really lightly just catch the tops of those embossed areas to really emphasize that wood grain, or you can just leave it with a little bit of texture. I chose to just leave it. So this paper is from the Let's Go Fishing pack of paper, but it works great for autumn cards on this side. So I went 2.5 by 3 3/4. So we've got the 3 3/4 width, and then these two pieces overlap just a tiny bit. Then I took the dark Mossy Meadow Stampin' Blends marker, and I colored that ribbon. So that's going to hide our seam, just like that. Okay. And then I did some stamping, and we're going to do some punching. Okay. All right. So let's start by putting some of these layers together. So let's take the base out of the way. Let's grab my Stampin' Seal, and let's put, whoops, here we go. Got a little bit of sticky on my finger. Okay, so let's put this up at the top, and I'm going to try and get a nice little border, pretty even top and sides. Okay, and then we're going to do the same with the Designer Series paper. Like that, and we'll do the same. Nice border. Okay, like that. Then we'll take our, oh, I do still have one. Sometimes I raid my table when I have class, and I share my silicone mat. And so I wanted to be sure that I still had this over here, because I'm going to, this is going to be a little bit sticky, and I'm not sure I want to put it on the card base just yet. I have to think about that for a minute. Oh, you know what? I don't want that on yet either. All right, well, we're just going to let that rest there because it won't stick. And let me show you what I did before I put this on there. So I took the largest of the Stylish Shapes dies, the circle, and I cut it out, and then I lined up one edge at 2 1/4. So from here to here, the widest part is 2 1/4 inches, and then I just cut it off so it's nice and flat. And then that is going to go just under here. So let me put a little adhesive on this, and I don't mind adhering this because I'm not going to stamp right on this. All my stamping is done, and I'm going to stick everything on there. So I'm just going to tuck that in a little bit like that. Make sure I'm roughly centered side to side. Okay, put that there. Then we can put this across and turn those edges to the back. So if you're out there watching, make sure you let me know. Give me a little hello or something, because I usually stand up at some point and see who's out there. So somebody's out there. I can tell that much. I just can't see your comments yet. All right, so now we have that. I'm going to work on my silicone mat because I still have exposed adhesive and I don't want it sticking to my work surface. So I'm just going to do that. So now we have, oh, nope, I'm going to tuck that. I'm going to just tuck these two pieces inside the card base so that when we get ready, we can do that part. But let's see what else we have. So I have some pumpkins that I stamped in copper clay, full strength, okay? And then these I stamped again without adding any more ink. So I got the next lighter color, okay? So if you don't know that about Stampin' Up! Ink pads, there's actually a gradient of color that you can get depending on how many times you stamp off, okay? I also have one done in Cajun Craze and Cajun Craze stamped off. So this is going to be a Halloween card. So I made a lot of them have faces, and I did stamp the Happy Halloween. So let's see if we can get some of these punched out. Now, what I did was I made sure, I think I shared this tip before, but let me show you again. I punched a template out of the punch, okay? And then what I do is I just set this down and I put the stamps right in, I just put them right in the template. And then I pick all of them up, or the ones that I want at the same time, I pick up with a block. So I had put the 2 pumpkins in there, so when I stamped these, they are all ready for punching. So you'll see that they'll line right up with the punch. Isn't that great? I love that little tip. So let me see here. There we go. Yep. And then we get some little pieces flying all over the place, but that's all right. We got half a leaf over here, and we got a stem over here, and whatever. It's okay. I'll just collect my little pile. So if you want to punch out multiple things at one time, and you're doing them in the same color, then it helps to do that. Okay. All right. So now we have those. We'll stick that over there. Then we have this pumpkin, which I intentionally stamped way over on the edge so that I could punch pretty much just that. And then I have these, and if I go this way and do this one first, and then move in and do this one, then it doesn't matter that I'm wrecking the other edge, right? Okay. All right, so I think that's most of the, oh, it's not quite all of the punching. I did do 2 stems. I put them on a sticky note because I didn't want them to get lost. So we have a couple of stems, and then we have some leaves. Now I stamped the leaves on this little skinny piece because I didn't want to waste a whole lot of cardstock. So if you notice, I can just slide, there we go. I can just slide those leaves right in and very carefully like that, punch out a leaf. Now I might nick the other, but I'm just, as long as I'm not tipping it real far, okay? I'm not, like, as long as I'm not tipping, I'm gonna be fine. So we can just get that other little leaf here. Okay. Yeah, we're gonna have some pieces to pick up. That's okay. All right, so there's one leaf. What happened to my other one? It went flying. Oh, here it is. All right, so we're gonna need a few leaves here. So let me just finish those. Oh, and I think I get to teach you my Post-it note trick too. case you don't know that trick. All right, there's 3 leaves. Now, it's getting really hard to reach, and I may or may not be able to reach over here. Looks like I can, but I have to be really careful of the way I angle, because if I go to get that leaf lined up, I'm going to lose this one. So what we do is we move our stems, now that they're part of my little pieces here, and we take and put a handle. So we take the sticky part, and now I have all this room. I'm going to take these off like that. There. Now those little ends won't get stuck in the punch. Okay. Whoops, I'm going to have to come down to the bottom. There we go. Okay, here we go. So now I can just very carefully punch my leaf, and then work over a little farther. Come on, there you go. Last leaf. There we go. Okay. So, little skinny strips, and then if you need it, use a sticky note to get to the edge. Okay. All right. There we go. Oh, I better put this back in my stamp case so I don't lose it. Okay, so now we are ready to kind of arrange our pumpkins, right? Here, let me push these over here and move this a little bit so you guys still have that. So make sure you take a screenshot or something of that with all those measurements. All right, so this one is going to get a stem for sure and a leaf. Okay. And you could tuck the leaf behind, or you can have the leaf in front. It doesn't really matter. I'm just going to put a couple of little dots of adhesive, of glue. Okay. Ooh, that was a little bit bigger drop than I really needed. And we'll just get our... I think I want it this way. Like this. Okay. There we go. And then we'll put a tiny drop here. And tuck this right over here. Okay. Like that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a dimensional right here to kind of hold all those things in place. Okay. And then we'll put one more on. Replenish the tables for class tomorrow. I forgot to replenish mine, so I'll be using up some of these edges. There we go. All right. So that one can just wait now, because that's going to go on the front. So let's see what we've got for other ones. So we might want another little stem, especially if this one's going to show. Here, let's give this one don't need much. Okay. There we go. And then we'll just, since we're using liquid glue, we might just as well go ahead and use it, right? Okay. So we'll tuck this one over here. Can even go over the edge of the circle if we want it to, like that. And we'll tuck another one with a face back here. Like that. And what's this color? Okay. You know what, I'm not crazy about that color, Cajun Craze, so we're going to go with this one. Like that. Okay. And we can even come on this side if we want. And this one could even be up on dimensionals. It's not exactly how the directions that I had, where I cased this from Mary Dirthridge. I hope I said that right. But it's my card, so I can change it up a bit. So I can do this one like that. And then we can start tucking some of the leaves in there. Okay, so just tuck a couple of leaves around. And I think I'm wishing I had done a couple more stems, but that's okay. That's okay. Okay. Let's see where this one's going to land. Yeah, I think we need one more leaf over here, maybe. Like this. And I think that's good. So I ended up with a couple of extras, but that's okay. I could have filled in a little bit more, but I'm pretty happy with the way it turned out. Okay. So now we can just put our little happy Halloween there. Right. So the circle just sort of anchors things so that you can have your little pumpkin patch. Okay. And then we will put this on the card front. Like that. There we go. And then inside here, so this piece is 3.5 by 5. And I've talked to you guys a little bit about why I do that. I don't think that piece of white is a full sheet. I was just looking at a piece that's over on at the end of my table. And I wanted to show you why I do that. Anyway, I can walk you through it. So your cardstock comes 8.5 by 11. Okay. So if usually to cut it in half the tall way, you cut it at 4 1/4, and then you get 2 pieces that are 4 1/4 by 11. Well, if you cut your first cut at 5 inches, okay, you cut off 3 1/2, right? So then you can take this 5" by 11 and turn it and cut it at 3 1/2 and get 3 pieces. All right. And then you take that 3 1/2 by 11 and turn it and cut it at 5 and you get 2 more. So that's 5 inside pieces for cards instead of 4. And really 3 1/2 by 5 is plenty of room for a little message. So that's why I do what I do, just so you know. And so we'll just have this little scrap that was left over, and we'll just put it along the bottom. And I am going to leave just a smidge of the Very Vanilla showing at the bottom because I kind of want it to look like a shelf. I don't want this pumpkin floating. And you'll see it's a little too wide for this, so we'll just snip it off. So we just go to the edge and snip it off like that. And then we can put this on the inside and our card will be done. There we go. Just like that. And how fun is that, right? So one of my kids, my big grown-up adult kids that still like to get Halloween cards, will probably get this because I don't think I'm doing any craft fairs between now and Halloween. So I will probably use this myself, unless somebody that comes to the studio tomorrow says, ooh, I gotta have that card. Anyway, there it is. There's the, let me put this in a little bit closer so you guys can take a nice screenshot of that with my fingers out of the way. And I am so glad that you are here to join me for this little bit of creativity. Thank you so much. And I will be back next Tuesday with another fun. I think next week is going to be a technique week. I saw a really fun technique and I would like to try it out and share it with you. So swing back next Tuesday and we will try that out. All right, thanks so much and we'll see you again soon. Thanks, Teresa. I'm glad you like it. Take care. Bye-bye.